Welcome back, Line Golf Academy members, and we're going to try something a little bit new today, and this is going to be all unedited, just straight from the cuff, and we're going to watch a couple of videos trying to sell you some tchotchkes and some systems, and one of them is the Hammer X, and then we're going to sit down and watch a 30-minute infomercial about Gravity Golf and kind of look at how they sell you, and it's still the current trend to today. They're still trying to sell you on three main things: is how to hit it further, how to hit it straighter, and how to do so with less effort and less work using their system or their little tchotchke that they're trying to sell you. Now this, gentleman, Hammer X, is notorious in the 90s, 2000s, and you actually had to scream at the top of your lungs to get full use of his driver. So if you do like this type of stuff, hit that like and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow to get golf into the hands of more children. And if you do like this content, let me know in the comments below and I will do more of it. But I thought I'd throw this in as a nice little break from our swing analysis to just show you the true nature of everything in golf. Much like any business, is all about money and how to take your money on empty promises. Now, you could probably say the same thing about golf instruction. And yes, that is the case. There are many golf instructors that don't know what they're doing, that can just take your money and run. So I'm not saying golf instruction is not part of this problem. And my main goal in life is growth of the game, getting people happier, and also teaching them that is not easy. It's something that you have to dedicate your time to and your life. And if you don't have that time, you might want to lower your expectations. But with that being said, let's get into Hammer X video intro. Now keep in mind, these are on 1.5 times speed, so it might sound a little bit squirrel-like, but I thought you might enjoy this. Boom! Hear that? Boom!
Pow! Wham! Boom! Boom, baby!
It's hammer time.
Ah! Boom! Bam! Boom! Who out there? 50 yards to the tee shot.
That's about as American as you can get right there. Rockets in the background. New shaft design that cuts through the air. So I don't know if you can get the idea from that video. Basically, if you were to watch the full infomercial on this, and we won't because it's pretty boring, but they designed a new shaft that was flat to cut through the air. They turned the club face upside down to allow air resistance to stream over the top. They eliminated the crown. They moved the weighting over. And if you watch Rick Shields, he actually did a comparison between this Hammer X driver, actually the new version. They still make it out there. He compared his driver to the new version, and it is pretty sad. If you want to check that out, I believe it's like 40-50 yards less than his one. But do you see how they marketed it? Here's a good-looking, young, strong guy that is obviously talented and trying to take his talent and put it into a redesigned driver and promising you the same results that he can get to. Now, if you look at his swing in slow motion, he gets to ridiculous positions that none of us can get to. But I thought you'd enjoy that. But let's get to Gravity Golf. 1-800-258. I forgot the rest of it.
The following program is a paid presentation for Gravity Golf.
Got the apple for Gravity.
Say enough about David Lee. He's the top of the top.
I've known David Lee since he played the tour, and I can remember down in Houston years ago that he was talking about Gravity Golf. One of the biggest things that we talked about is the word tension. Tension-free is the key for a guy with a decent swing.
So if he couldn't pick that up, he just talked about tension-free.
That ever lived.
Instead of thinking about 20 things at one time, you would just do the drills and that works it all out.
You hear that?
Great for me.
Think about 20 things at one time.
The technologically advanced training system that's ever existed in this ancient game. We're going to take a behind-the-scenes look at a man named David Lee and his innovative Gravity Golf training system. For the past 18 years, David Lee has remained one of the best-kept secrets in professional golf. We're here at the beautiful Worldwoods Golf Club in Brooksville, Florida.
All right, so while they do the rest of the introduction, I don't know if you heard that.
If you've ever watched professional golf on television, you'll probably recognize the faces of some of today's guests. What you may not realize is that all these gentlemen have something in common. They all turn to the same person when they're having trouble with their golf game.
David Lee might be the best teacher that ever lived. David Lee is not only a golf teacher, he's a muscle genius. And when you understand the muscles of a person and you can teach him, you got to be the best, and that's what he is. David Lee's in the 21st century, is the way I look at it.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but Chi talked about Gary is a muscle genius, and that's what makes his system different. So already they're proposing something that you are not familiar with, and that is what you're going to pay for, is the unfamiliar information that is cutting edge and leading the way in technologies we heard.
He's teaching stuff that's going to be taught at the turn of the century. He's so far ahead. I mean, he says things I've never heard from 100 different instructors, and I've been to some of the very, very best. Jim Ballard, Jim Flick, Hank Haney, on and on, Carl Lauren, very famous guys there, and they're all great. But David doesn't teach anything they teach.
One of the major problems in the game today revolves around the fact that the game is being largely taught from a standpoint of positions.
positions during the backswing and the downswing that you're ideally supposed to go through. With the gravity golf system, we're going to show you how to develop perfect positions all the way through your golf swing without having...
I don't know if you noticed, but the positions he demonstrated kind of look the same way as these perfect positions with gravity golf.
...to think about any of those things on a conscious basis. You have some wonderful innate mechanisms within your body that will teach you to do all of the things that you need to do to develop a consistently repeating golf swing without having to be running a 40-point checklist every time you make a swing.
There you go. He's playing to your needs right there. So all you guys that just think way too much, take my system. It'll take all of that away. But I hate to tell you, even if you use this system, you are still thinking about positions, and along with that comes thought.
The 18 years that David Lee has spent researching the golf swing have resulted in a multitude of discoveries, 2 of which enabled him to identify the first standard for swing perfection that's ever existed in the history of golf. In addition to that, the training system utilizes drills which access the subconscious mechanisms within the brain, allowing a person to learn totally by feel. This absolutely eliminates any need to think your way through the golf swing.
That's better.
Yeah, that felt much better.
Feel it connect?
Yeah.
See, that's the advantage of working in an isolated mode or a component mode. If you're not feeling exactly where the problem is in a two-handed mode, then you can go into the component modes and start to find exactly where the problem is.
Well, the thing that I really have enjoyed...
I don't know if you heard that, but he said if you're not feeling your swing and with 2 hands, it's a good idea to take your left hand or whichever hand he's talking about off the golf club and make a swing and get that feel back. Now, the problem with that is a one-handed swing and a two-handed swing feel completely different. The challenge I would have is where do I bridge these two together? Because if I take a two-handed swing and I've lost my feel, but I swing with one hand and I'm trying to get that feel back, I now have to think about a position or a feel to get that motion. So we don't really eliminate thought.
About the gravity system, including the tapes and the book, is that in the past I'd go out and practice and really not know what I was doing. And now I can do the drills and still not have to worry about know what I'm doing, but the drills tell my body what should be done. And so when I find myself having trouble with my regular swing, I continue to do the drills and then go back out and all of a sudden my regular swing starts hitting the ball like it should.
You know, David, one of the biggest things about gravity golf that struck me right off the bat was the fact that this allows you to plan your practice time.
By the way, I think I have one of those shirts.
If you've only got an hour to spend, you know that you're going to go out there and get a full hour's worth of value while you're practicing.
Well, one of the problems that everyone has in this game, I remember this when I was developing as a player myself, is that countless days I would go to the practice tee and dump my golf balls on the ground and just stand there for a few minutes and look at them and go, well, what's it going to be today? You know, it was always something different.
There he goes again, playing to what your needs are. How many of us go out to the range and just hit golf balls aimlessly? This is what he's talking about. He's trying to get your attention. Hey, that sounds like me. Maybe this guy knows who I am. Maybe he knows what I need. But I promise you, most of us just don't practice correctly because we don't know what our strengths and weaknesses are, which is not about adopting a new swing method. It is about understanding your weaknesses and strength in your game. And you can only do that by keeping statistics when you play to identify what areas you need to focus on. I don't know if you saw a video posted a couple weeks ago where I took a video of the Mission Bay driving range in San Diego where one of my academies is, and you can see both ends of the range packed with people waiting. And I pan over to the short game and it's like a graveyard out there. There's 3 or 4 people while there are 60 or 70 people hitting golf balls. I did it the next day just to show you it is not a fluke, and it was even worse the next day. I think I had 2 people in the short game and 60, 70 hitting golf balls. Those people will not get better scoring, and it's all about scoring. It's not necessarily how well you hit the ball, but how bad you miss the ball.
When you're learning under this system, you know exactly what you need to practice and how you need to, in what practicing mode you need to be in to make yourself develop and eliminate your mistakes as quickly as you can. When you practice under the gravity system, you get an hour of value for an hour of time put in. If you're out there compensating your mistakes, you can go out and spend the entire day on the practice tee to get little or no value out of it whatsoever.
The last couple of weeks,
There you go again. It's just not using your practice time correctly. He's assuming that everybody just needs to work on their full swing. That to me is not a development professional. That is somebody that's selling a system to try and get you to part ways with your money.
I've had an opportunity to see you interacting with players at all levels, beginners to professionals. And the amazing thing to me is, in a real testimony to how right the information is, there's something in here for literally everyone, and a beginner can have the confidence to know that they're going to be able to pursue their potential in the game, and the professional can know that they're going to be able to polish off those last little rough spots.
That's absolutely right. Regardless of what level player you are, this will help you to go out and practice exactly the way you need to practice so that you're going to continue to get better and better.
Now, you guys know that this is not a conversation they're having. This is a pre-written thing, I believe, by this gentleman right here, saying, ask me these questions, say this certain thing so I can double down on it and make sure this sounds as good as it can be for everybody. No system is designed for everyone. Please understand that. A brand new player and a tour player cannot use the same system. We're all so unique. Everybody needs their own individual motions and system to tailor to them.
Are you going to eliminate that problem that all players have or seem to have, where they go out and just hit a brick wall and just can't seem to improve? With the advantages of learning.
There we go again. Sorry, I keep pausing this, but hit a brick wall and can't seem to improve. Why is that? Maybe because they're not practicing correctly. Maybe because they don't understand the importance of correct practice. Maybe their lifestyle can't afford the goals they're trying to receive. Maybe they just don't have realistic expectations. We all hit brick walls, and I promise you, using this system might help a few people, but it's not going to help everyone as they are promising.
Learning through this system, we can literally take a player now who's never played and have him to where, if he's on an intensified program, he can be ready to start competing as a professional player within a year from the time he first takes up the game.
I absolutely believe that you can take a beginner player like myself and create a great player.
You guys ever heard of Molly? I don't think I've heard of her.
Its method is fantastic. I came down here as a beginner. I went through the tour qualifying school this August, and
That is some. I came down here as a beginner and now went to the tour qualifying school in August. Man, that is just amazing. How is that possible? Maybe gravity golf is for you.
would not have been there at the tour qualifying school without David.
What I marvel at about David Lee is two things. He can take, like Molly, a virtual beginner.
I don't know if you notice this, but that Killer Bee driver is another tchotchke, kind of like that air hammer that we talked about. And he is sponsored by Killer Bee, so I'd take his words pretty lightly.
And within probably less than 6 months, it's evident she's tour material. And David used to tell me he could do that. I didn't believe him. I have seen it. I've seen him take just that particular girl and make a long hitter out of her. By the way, everybody I've seen him work with hits the ball longer. He taught me a lot about length. He taught me the basic principle of power in a golf swing. You people know that? No, David knows. If you didn't get it from David, you probably never heard it.
There you go. You people don't know how to get the ball far. I do, because I took lessons from him and I use this system. So come on, what are you waiting for? Get that credit card number out. It'll be next to you.
One of the things that comes to mind is the guys that you identified out on the senior tour that use the gravity style swing are all still really long. And some of them are even longer than they were when they played the regular tour.
Well, that's one of the major advantages of the gravity swing.
That might be because of equipment, might have helped them.
Is that because it doesn't use muscle to create the speed, it uses arc size, timing, counterfall, and pivotal movement to create speed instead of using muscle like the other power sources do.
There you go. That's a lot of science words you just threw at you. I hope you got a dictionary to look all that stuff up.
And because of that, an individual is able to play throughout his entire golf life without any appreciable loss of distance. If you watch Miller Barber or Don January, they're just about as long today as they've ever been, and both of them are over 60 years old. It allows women who don't have a lot of strength to be...
That's the professional that's supposed to be playing on the tour. Nothing against her, but I don't know if that move is going to be tour worthy.
Begin with, to be able to create great speed and distance off the tee. It enables people of any age to create power without effort.
My name's David Tiffenberg. I'm 10 years old. I'm in 4th grade and I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. I've won about 38 junior events. Some of the tournaments I've won are the Pepsi Little Peoples in Quincy, Illinois, Doral, down Miami, the Tournament of Champions. I think gravity golf is good for kids because instead of thinking about 20 things at one time, you just do the drills and that works it all out.
I'll tell you what, I teach a lot of kids. There are so many kids out there that just swing away, get away with a lot that adults cannot get away with. So you having a junior testimony doesn't really count in my opinion, because juniors are still developing. They're not really aware cognitively how their body works and how hand-eye coordination works. Some kids just have it.
Very good.
Gravity golf worked great for me.
I've made more progress in the past 6 months with my game than I have in the past 3 years of struggling through different teachers and, methods and books, you name it, I've tried it.
There you go again, struggling through many professionals, many books. I've read everything that's ever been written about golf. I've taken lessons from everybody written about golf, but when I found gravity golf, guess what? I probably am going to win 48 tournaments in a row.
And gravity golf is where it's at.
I empathize with people that have been playing golf for 15
I thought that was Leslie Nielsen. I thought the big naked gun was going to come out the back.
or 20 years, and they hit the ball well, and they're stuck at a 15 or 18 handicap or even a 10, and they never get any better, and they're totally inconsistent. I was like that. I feel so much different now. My swing is softer, the ball goes further, it goes straighter. I amaze myself with some of the shots I make. I stand back and I go, gee, and I really, really like them.
Did he just say he sandbags? I don't know. Maybe he said he stands back. But either way, can you see how they're playing to what you are thinking? They are echoing your insecurities about your golf game. And they have the answer because here are 5 or 6 different people that echoed the same thing that you're thinking about all the time. I don't have time to practice. When I practice, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't hit the golf ball. I think too much. Well, guess what? That's what golf is.
When we come back, we're going to catch up with David Lee out on the senior tour, working with the pros.
Golfers spend thousands of dollars and countless hours searching for the secrets that will unlock their potential as players. Now, through this incredible TV offer, you can own the century's greatest golf instruction discoveries.
Okay, so wait a minute. Wasn't this supposed to be an easy thing that doesn't take much time? I don't know about you, but I don't think most of us have enough time to watch 4 VHSs, read a full book, and listen to 4 cassettes. I think in total time, I don't know how fast you guys read, but I don't read really quickly. But that right there just looks like a lot of work.
All documented in the incredible Gravity Golf Library. The library begins with the evolution of swing mechanics. There are not 10, 50, or 100 different ways to swing a golf club. This video describes the only 4 ways that club head speed can be produced, and clearly draws a distinction between the techniques that will limit your development and the one that will not. The library continues with the concepts video, which sets an indisputable scientific standard for swing perfection for the first time in the history of the game. And finally...
So here we go again. He's talking about positions, but what you fail to realize is positions are caused by grip placements. And if there's anything you have learned from watching this channel, is you cannot have one without the other. So if you are not teaching a correct grip based on these new placements, the whole thing is thrown out the window, because most people, for range of motion issues, create a grip, allows them to hit that ball squared up. Now that grip placement will initially affect your golf swing, and you will have a hybrid. If you change your golf swing, your grip doesn't work. If you change your grip, your golf swing doesn't work. So already I see a little bit of flaw with this.
Finally offers an explanation that will remove any confusion about your swing once and for all. The training system explores the innovative fast-forward approach that David Lee takes in programming perfect mechanics into every golfer.
You hear that? Fast-forward approach. Don't work hard at it. This is the fast-forward motion. Just read a book, watch 4 VHSs, and listen to 4 cassette tapes. It's pretty quick.
Evolutionary practice methods set forth in this tape promise a quantum leap in your ball striking abilities, while eliminating the need for thinking your way through the swing. Finally, great...
Man, if I'm giving lessons out there and somebody looks like that,
Putters Are Made teaches us that by understanding perfect putting mechanics, applying some simple yet ingenious practice methods, and learning to swing the putter on a true arc instead of pushing it up and down the line, you'll find yourself more relaxed, more confident, and sinking more putts than ever before. You'll also receive the highly...
So, putting with true arc. Path does not mean much in putting. I promise you this. Direction is about 90% club face at impact. You don't believe me? Open that club face up, take a pass straight back and straight through. That ball's going right all day long. Keep that club face square and exaggerate your path out to in. The deflection is not as much as you would think. Club face is king, so don't worry about putting. Putting is all preferential based on how you can feel the golf ball. It's all feel based.
Claim Gravity Golf Audio Series, which will enhance your ability to take your game to new levels. This 4-volume series will allow you to absorb the principles of gravity golf while in the car, at the office, or at the course. You'll be able to study the nuances of developing perfect technique anytime you want. Finally, no life...
Can you imagine if you just got this and your wife is in the car? Honey, instead of music that you want to listen to, you're going to learn how to hit gravity golf. And you too, you don't even play golf, but you know what? By the time you finish listening to this, you are going to be hitting it further than me.
Library would be complete without the original hardbound edition of the book that started it all, David Lee's Gravity Golf, the evolution and revolution of golf instruction. This timeless classic marks a milestone in golf history and is rapidly changing the face of golf instruction the world over. Until now, Gravity Golf has been available only to top professionals and those able to spend thousands of dollars for personal instruction with David Lee himself. But now...
So wait a minute. Gravity Golf was only available for tour professionals, only available for tour professionals. So now he has opened the floodgates and he's letting you peons in on his knowledge, but it's not going to be for free. It's going to take a lot of time and investment, but hey, we didn't mention that. And didn't he claim before that he worked with amateurs on this? So which one is it? Did you work with amateurs before, or was it only for tour pros?
Through this incredible television offer, you can examine the entire Gravity Golf library risk-free for...
Here it is, risk-free for how much?
30 days, for the incredibly low price of just 3 easy payments of $49.
Wow. 3 easy payments for so $150. Now, what we're going to do... So I just pulled up an inflation website. I just typed in how much was $150 in 1995, and it is equivalent of $300 in today's money. So for $300, do you really think that you're going to listen to those DVDs, watch the VHSs, read the book, implement it on your own without any guidance other than your mirror or your feel? We all know that feel isn't real, so even if you're watching this and you're trying to emulate the feel, you are probably, strike that, you are not going to get to those positions. You need this guy right next to you to show you the positions, because feel and positions are related, but they also lie to each other.
$9.95. And if you call now, we'll also include a full 1-year membership to Golf Access, which provides thousands of dollars worth of savings on green fees and special golf vacations at some of the country's greatest courses and resort hotels. A $50 value, yours absolutely free.
Oh, no way.
With Gravity Golf, results are guaranteed. Call the toll-free number on your screen now and examine the complete library risk-free for 30 days. If you don't feel that this is the most revolutionary information ever presented on perfecting your golf game, simply return it for a full refund, no questions asked. But keep the 1-year membership to Golf Access. It's our free gift to you just for ordering. Whether you're just taking up the game, stuck at a certain level, or have ever dreamed of playing competitively, you owe it to yourself to try Gravity Golf risk-free and discover that the only thing standing between you and scratch-level scores is perfect practice.
It's important to point out that what you're about to see is real. None of these events were staged, and nobody was...
Anytime somebody says what's important to notice that this is not staged and these are real, it's probably staged.
paid for their endorsements. We think that just about says it all.
Gravity golf is new to me, and it's been good for me. And I feel honored that David helps me out from time to time when I do get stuck, and he's got a lot of great ideas. And I think it would help a person that is stuck on a certain level to go to David or Gravity Golf and give it a shot. I think it's well worthwhile.
I saw David Lee take two sisters. They were twins. They were gymnasts. In 9 months, they'd never touched a golf club before. In 9 months, one of them was a 6 handicapper, and the other one was a pro. In 9 months, I saw him take a football player that never touched a golf club ever in his life, and in 6 months, he was a 4 handicap.
Now, Chichi Rodriguez, I don't know about those claims. Those are pretty outlandish, but they might be scratch players or professionals in miniature golf, maybe. But keep in mind, Chichi Rodriguez may or may not have been on the board or the payroll of this company, so take these testimonies with a grain of salt.
You just don't have a teacher like David Lee. If I was a young pro starting on tour, I would go to David Lee.
I've known David ever since he played the tour, and I can remember down in Houston years ago that he was talking about gravity golf. One of the biggest things that we talked about is the word tension. The tee shot I hit at 18, I was mainly, that's what I was thinking about. Just go ahead, trust your swing, get it back, stay as relaxed as you can, and just knock hell out of it. And I hit it perfect, and then the 5-iron, I hit it perfect also. The approach that I took was probably mentally muscle.
You're telling me that Gravity Golf talking to this guy and he told you to keep attention free, so a swing thought changed your swing? I really doubt it. If you know anything by now by watching these videos, that once you get to that level of the best in the world, and clearly this gentleman is, swings don't deviate so much. It is down to swing thoughts, and that could have helped him keep attention free, but it is not a system.
So relaxing enough to get enough tension out of it to make things happen the way it should. David's deal is a little different if he works with a good player, a guy that already has good fundamentals, to be able to...
There was Jack. He says, hey man, you got any tips for me? Guy says, hey, I got these books, I got these DVDs, and you got to take a look at this and watch it. And Jack said, nah, I ain't got time for that.
Understand the movements and what causes certain things to happen is a good thing. And with good players, I think that's what you need to know is why do I do that? What changed?
The key that David was working on with me was helping me understand my swing and what I was doing in golf to where I could be more consistent and do it over and over. The first problem I had whenever I talked with him had to do with my...
So you hear that? He's talking to these guys about their swing, helping me understand my swing. He's not giving them a blanket instruction like he's trying to pawn off to you guys. Now, thankfully, this was 30 years ago, so hopefully there's no more gravity golf out there. But this is a system. It's much like stack and tilt is a system. Square to square, gravity golf, you name it, they keep popping up every decade. There's 1 or 2 of these that just take over the world of golf, and they leave behind a bunch of destruction more than assistance.
Putting it, that wasn't where we started, but that's where we ended up, and I think that's going to be one of the key things that he's done that helped me. We started out putting with sand wedge, of course, one-handed. Ever since then, it seems like that when I was on the course playing, that the 30-footers were much easier to lag up to the hole, where before, any time that I had a putt in the, we'll say, 24-foot range and over, then it was going to be a task for me just to lag it up there to 2 putty. I haven't been professional very long, but the way that David approaches golf, and I heard him say that he could take a beginner and have him, be a less than a 10 handicap player within...
But wait a minute, I thought it was only available for tour players.
Just 3 or 4 months, just with his system. And I believe that just simply because of the way he approaches it.
I have been to a lot of instructors, and the most help I ever got in one moment was a year and a half ago at the Tampa tournament. The last round, I'm 7 shots out of the lead. David was there with me on the practice teams. It was the easiest thing in the world to use the gravity golf system, which is really what I was doing. It was probably the first day I ever used it completely and was able to just take it right to the...
So what Killer B said was, it was the very first day he ever used gravity golf on a day of a tournament, and he won the tournament. What? Can you believe that? That could be you. Just fork over $150 plus shipping and handling, get ready to read a bunch, watch a bunch of videos, listen to some cassettes in the gym with your Walkman. You'll be all set. You'll be joining me in the tour pretty soon.
The course and take it to my scores. I hit the ball dead at the pin for 18 consecutive holes, putted for 18 birdies, made 10 of them, shot 61 and won the tournament. 100% because of what David had told me that day. I mean, I can't say enough about David Lee. The feeling I get when I do what David says is no feeling. There's no effort. It's easy. It seems like you didn't swing hard. You just generated everything, and it just flows, which is
I feel like if I had a conversation with this guy, I'd walk away with a Killer Bee driver, Killer Bee hat, Killer Bee shirt, some DVDs. This guy is just too charismatic for the television.
Without a doubt, the best way to play golf. You know, you see those guys up there flailing away, and they may hit a series of good shots, but then they're going to hit a series of bad shots. Now you watch like somebody that's swinging effortlessly, and he just hits shot after shot right up the pipe, you know. That's the feeling David teaches you when you do gravity golf.
Golfers spend thousands of dollars and countless hours searching for the secrets that will unlock their potential as players. Now, through this incredible TV...
Now we have a cheap secret. It's only $150 this time instead of thousands of dollars like we talked about before and countless of hours. It's only a little bit of hours and $150. Much better.
Offer, you can own the century's greatest golf instruction discoveries, all documented in the incredible Gravity Golf Library. The library begins with the evolution of swing mechanics. There are not 10, 50, or 100 different ways to swing a golf club.
Here we go again.
This
Let's
video
skip
describes
ahead.
the only 4 ways that club head speed can be produced. Television offer, you can examine the playing competitively.
I can assure you that once you learn to feel what he feels in your body, you'll start to develop a piece within your golf swing that will completely change your feeling about the entire game. Once you acquire these skills within your system, this golf swing never leaves you, and you'll know what it feels like to go out there and swing the golf club with the same type of effortless feeling that you see in Freddie Couples or in Jack or all the other gravity players that have stumbled across this mechanism throughout their development.
When I went to see David, I'd been having the yips for probably about 10 years. And I started working with him and working with his methods and his training and his drills with the gravity method. And the next thing I knew, I started putting better and better. And I haven't had the yips. I started working with him about 2 years ago, and I haven't had the yips in a little less than 2 years. And believe me, I've played some tournaments.
Isn't that convincing?
And it's so nice to be able to have gotten that part down. I played in the U.S. Open last year, and the one thing that I didn't hit the ball as well as usual, but my putting was decent.
What? You didn't hit the ball well with gravity golf?
And you know, those greens, when you're playing U.S. Open greens, you're like, oh my gosh, they're so fast. And if you don't yip those greens, you're not going to yip any greens, but I didn't. And with working with his methods, I still practice them. It's night and day. Having my body do the work rather than my arms trying to guide it. And gravity and it's so easy. It's just like the rest of my game now. It's not something different. It's not something totally different. It's the same as every other aspect of my game that I'm comfortable with. So as far as my putting, if you have the yips, you've got to learn this method because it's going to make all the difference in the world. You're going to get rid of them, I guarantee you. You just work and do David's method and night and day.
And read 7 books and watch 10 DVDs?
You'll be amazed. It's great.
I was introduced to David Lee and the gravity golf teaching method through a gentleman I was working for at the time back in Fremont, California. And one of the things about training full time was coming here to Florida to be close to David, to learn about the gravity golf swing and to be out here. But these videos, had they been available at the time that I was in California, probably would have enabled me to stay home in California and train because they're so good and they show you what you need to know about this gravity golf method.
So instead of flying out to see him in person and work with him personally, you would rather have ordered the VHSs and watched comfortably from your home.
And this teaching method, David's. And
you can do that for $150.
It's really, really superior to any teaching method I've ever been through, and I've made more progress in the past 6 months with my game than I have in the past 3 years of struggling through different teachers and, you know, methods and books, you name it, I've tried it, and gravity golf is where it's at.
Does that sound familiar? I think they're reaching into your brain again and your thought process. Man, I spent so much hours, so much time, so much instruction, nothing's working, but this DVD might help me.
I met David about 3 years ago when I was the pro at Eastwood here in Orlando. Now I'm a golf professional at the Bay Hill Club, and he's done some pretty amazing things with my golf swing in the last 3 years. If you want to learn how to take complete tension out of your golf swing and hit it further, go see David Lee or buy the tapes.
So wait a minute, this guy's a head pro and he teaches his members. So what he's saying basically to his membership is, before I met David, I gave everybody here garbage lessons. Now that I know how to do it correctly on my game, come back, I'll teach you the same thing. And you wanted to spend $150 for the DVDs and the books and yada yada, you can actually take it from me for $150 an hour.
Simple as that. Most of us have been told by our mothers that when we quit trying to manipulate things is when we fully get control of them. Nowhere is that more important than in the game of golf. When you quit trying to guide that ball and you trust the quality of your mechanics and you have the swing trained within your system, trust me, that ball will go exactly where you want it to go.
Golfers spend thousands of dollars and countless hours searching for the
Guys getting
secrets
the
that
clue.
will unlock
I
their
think
potential
this
as
is the
players.
last commercial.
Now, through this able to
Looks
study
like
the
it.
nuances of television offer, Gravity Golf
That's it.
results are
And then it
guaranteed.
just
Simply returning
ends.
for a full
So
refund. No
if that wasn't the biggest tease to separate you from money, I don't know what was. But I hope you can kind of understand why I put this up together. If you do like this, we'll do it again. If not, just tell me and I'll just stop this. But just wanted to waste some time this afternoon, and I thought, let's just watch a couple infomercials from 95. But just don't rush out to buy any tchotchkes or go through some modality. Make sure you do some research on a qualified golf professional who can truly help your game and tailor that program for your individual needs based on your strengths, weaknesses, body positions, body rotations, body flexions, hand and eye coordination, and obviously talent and time. Hope that helps you, fairways and greens.